So,
Yes.
good afternoon, friends. Sorry for delay. So, I'm going to speak few minutes. Of course, already some of my colleagues touched, issues which I am going to. But I'll, talk about the COVID pandemic and what is the impact of that on the space industry, particularly. So, before, first part, I'll speak about what is the technology law. We all know that space technology, one of the significant achievement of man in the 20th century was his ability to leave this planet and have a complete view from outer space. Of course, this was imagination for centuries, but it got realized only on 4th October 1957. And friends, we have seen last six decades so much development happened all these 6 decades. Particularly, though it was scientists predicted, but this became reality after this 4th October. We have seen Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space and Neil Armstrong, and today we are talking about space stations, space hotels, buying and selling of flats in outer space. All this, okay, these are all science. But what we have to do with the law? So what we always say that law follows technology. It is true with the space. On the 4th October, things happened. 14th November, exactly 40th day, the United Nations came out with resolution asking, urging international community to use space for the benefit of mankind. That is where the law started, and today we have well set law or international space law. Question comes, why space law we required? If we don't have a space law, can't we? Yes, we required because the use of technology for betterment of mankind, protection of IP, then maximum utilization. If you don't have a law, it create lot of present and also future conflicts. These kind of issues we need law. Of course, international space law is body of law, regulates the use of outer space, and we have seen how it developed last 6 decades. Because initially it was from 1957 to 63 soft law phase. Various UN General Assembly resolutions came. Soft law, non-binding in nature. Then second phase, important phase, and today of course that is very much required for debate. Hard law. There are 5 important treaties, including Outer Space Treaty 67, then liability Outer Space Treaty Registration Convention, then we Rescue Agreement and Moon Agreement. All these 5 important treaties, what we call important phase or hard law phase. Again, now we have a soft law, direct DBS principles, remote sensing principles. All these, of course, you have done, but just cursory thing. These principles, whether it's a hard or soft, we have developed very many important fundamental principles for governance of space, particularly principles like equality, free exploration and use outer space, non-discrimination, non-appropriation principle, not to place nuclear weapons near Earth orbit. Moon and other celestial bodies are used for peaceful purposes. Astronauts are the man invoice. All these important principles which we developed part of the both 1967 onwards. But how far these principles are again relevant present context is a question mark, because most of these treaty regime which developed when space industry was predominantly, it was a government driven thing. Okay, it was public sector dominating sector, but things have changed in the 80s and 90s. So is the existing international space law relevant in the context of commercialization, privatization, whatever, deregulation, all these things? That's the question. And important review for this is the Outer Space Treaty 67. You all know that corpus of space law is developed only based on the Outer Space Treaty 67. But Article 6, Article 7, particularly Article 6 is today, lot of debate is going on that, space activities carried out by whether, governmental or non-governmental, liability issues. All those things are again, now debatable issues in the present context, and we are again debating. Recent, particularly last 20-30 years of development, if you look at, we have seen globalization, its impact on globalization in general, and particularly how it has impacted the space industry, particularly satellites and other things, especially. Then commercialization. Now we are phase of privatization, where lot of issues which are prompting us, for example, security versus commercial. How are we going to do about this? Whether security or is it we are going to compromise part of the commercial activities in the name of security? Privacy versus commercial, private versus government. These are the issues which I am just raising. Of course, you are debating, but this is a thing which we have to look at in the current scenario when we are talking about the private participation in big way in the space industry. Particularly today, we are in a changed scenario. So space activity shifted from government to private. Commercial space activities are replacing by government things. Lot of concerns we are raising actually utilization of these things, particularly national and international context. Increased capabilities of use of space number of ways. So how are we going to cope up with this is the challenge today which is posing, and where the exactly space law come into picture. Indian context, particularly, these are all things which develop part of the international space law. But India, if you look at India, is going to play a major role in the Committee of Nations in the coming years relating to space industry. So Indians, emerging a serious player. There is no doubt, though we have a limited resources, whatever we are doing, but important issues relating to that is safety, authorization agreements, dispute resolution mechanisms, law of contracts, transfer of property, stamps. These are the issues which we don't have adequate thing, and particularly because of lack of I can say domestic legislation. Of course, Professor, but others also spoke. Though friends, I am happy to share with you all that the act for space legislation, need for space legislation, I did 30 years back when I was a student in JNU. First, my article in 1996 I wrote, where I highlighted the need. You can refer my article, need for space law. Why India needs space law? Because India is doing commercialization, privatization. India is doing million, or I can say billion business dollar. So there I argued that we need space law. Of course, in 1996 first article where I narrated that why we need, how we need. I studied some of the existing legislations of that time actually, and then I proposed. And today I'm happy to share that most of the research which I initiated 30 years back, it is happening with my lot of young students and all. So why it's happening is again, commercialization, privatization, particularly even government side also ISRO created, then Antrix Corporation, all this. So today that is the stage we reached, in India. So this is background about that. Coming to the pandemic, actually, friends, you know that the global legal order, it is not only confined to space, but global legal order is going to be changed. Is it that global legal order pre and post pandemic? Pre-pandemic, we have institutions created. We are doing all last 60, 70 years of international governance, but things are going to change. So particularly what I use the word is COVIDization. So COVID pandemic, we say COVIDization is going to impact the global governance in general and the space sector in particularly. If that is so, how are we going to look at that? The inspiration for this COVIDization and COVID pandemic I'm talking about is part of globalization. Friends, the globalization which has impacted global society for almost 6 decades. When I say globalization, liberalization, these things. So it has positives, negatives. Globalization has solved global problems, and of course there were negatives also, particularly developing countries were sufferers, all these things. But similar analogy we can draw for space industry or other industry also. So that context actually, COVID pandemic. Today, forced last 1 year or precisely 10 months, how things are happening. I'm talking about general, and I'll link that to space. Pandemic has forced states to close borders. Quarantine were imposed. Travel bans, paralyzed supply chains, export-import restrictions. All these now posing fundamental questions in the governance, particularly the impact of COVID, fundamental international governance questions. How will the pandemic influence international legal order in future, including space legal order? How the pandemic might reshape world order, including aspects for international cooperation. Can the pandemic, will accelerate USA decline, because already that some of the states, including European Union, so-called countries like America, failed states. So how this pandemic is going to look at that? So far, what we are following, cooperation in general governance and including the space sector, and India, borrow a lot of cooperation. Is it that cooperation is going to continue after, post-pandemic? When, non-solidarity, normalization, these are the things which we have to analyze in the context of general, international relations and international order. Space is not one, which we should not look at in isolation. So the impact, if you look at, caused pandemic in general, all industries, I said, a lot of things are happening last 10 months. For example, postponement of launch schedules, stopping of, all the activities relating to the space industry, particularly. COVID actually swept out world industries trying to look at, all the governmental business activities. Some launches are moving delayed, some are, happening. These, last 10 months, this is happening, particularly launch rockets continue to be launched, but however, a lot of rockets are, stopped. For example, I can say suspending launching of the time, by very many countries like Europe and, other parts of the world. Manufacturing, then testing, then particularly this is not only confined to the developing countries like India, particularly if you look at OECD countries, European countries, small countries, of course, they are, major sufferers because of COVID impact on the, space industry, OECD crisis, European. So India, if you look at India, of course, we all know that, part of Atmanirbhar initiatives are self-reliant India. So Indian private sector, component in the so-called Atmanirbhar made by the finance minister, 20 lakh package all. So there were 8 sectors, but one of the important sector which part of the Atmanirbhar or self-reliant was outer space. Outer space has been identified one of the 8 areas where major reforms which we brought, the part of the COVID, particularly Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced a greater role of private sector in India space program, including launch vehicles, satellite manufacturing, space-based services. So Minister also acknowledged the work done by private sector in the development of Indian space technology, space capabilities. So these are, some of the things we have to carry forward. Particularly the announcement, government said that it will create private sector, it will create fund for benefit of private sector. So these are some of the initiatives which was made by part of the Atmanirbhar, and of course, lot of initiatives. Last 8 months, I can say that, India has initiated towards the private participation, particularly, ISRO-led group, private, and also there are today, if you look at 60% of ISRO budget is spent to private space industry. So this is where the space industry, of course, it has to go a long way. Particularly, we have to keep one important thing. Other speakers spoke, so I don't want, but space activities be. I mentioned, friends, though this is a one area where we need to have. So it is a need to consolidate whatever I spoke or speaking about that. To consolidate, India needs to have a space legislation. So I mentioned, friends, the last 30 years, things are happening, but it's not moving in the proper direction, though, it is a, but I think it is a time for India, whatever, whether it's a pandemic or, post-pandemic, try to consolidate. If we had to consolidate space industry, I think, there is a need for, space activities bill 2017 has to pass, and in that direction, last 2 years, some of the work is, happening through as a part of the ISRO and outside ISRO. But I think it is a time for us, or in India, to consolidate, to continue the process which we initiated only through having a important legislation, particularly the agency we are talking about, the in space and the other areas. So with this, I thought, I'm only raising these questions, but we can, discuss further course of time. But this is going to be the scenario post-pandemic. It was a pre-pandemic, but it is also post-pandemic. With this, of course, I'll take up some questions or something, but my idea is to just intervene that how things have happened, how things are going to happen post-pandemic. Thank you, friends. Thank you.